All right. So here we're going to do a little presentation on, it's a review, so probably people are familiar with this topic, but just in case if you aren't, it's a review for myself too, because I haven't looked at this in quite some time, but I think it's interesting and important. And I saw corroborating information in the Fluidal Energies book. So I wanted to do first this little presentation and then go through some of the information, a couple of sentences in the Fluidal Energies book. Whoa, not too fast. It's about the overall consciousness block. So, and it was originally part of a larger presentation on reincarnation, but I just wanted to focus on the overall consciousness block. And there's some information which I'm not quite clear on at this point, new information for me, but I'll share it, and with the caveat that I could be wrong. But as far as I know, this is what it is now. So the spirit form is creating the overall consciousness block. And this is all in the fine material realm. And let me get my picture so that it's out of the way there. Okay. And the overall consciousness block has the job of creating a consciousness block. And that's basically your personality, ego, material consciousness. So day 21, everybody knows this, but this is the part that is kind of a little bit different, is when the spirit form enters in to the fetus on day 21, the consciousness block does so as well. But from this new information that I'm getting, which I'm still waiting to get confirmation from Christian and Billy, but from Christian via, he's going to ask Billy. So this, but it appears that this is what's happening, is that the overall consciousness block as well as the spirit form enter into the fetus, and kind of makes sense. And of course, the spirit form enters into the superior colliculus, and then it spreads out in a fine filigree throughout the body. This is, if you've seen any of the earlier presentations that I've done on reincarnation, these are the same pictures and pretty much the same information. It is unaffected by the material realm. So if you were to lose your arm, the spirit form is, or the creation energy part piece is unaffected by the physical damage, whereas the psyche would be. Okay. So, and the consciousness block, what is it? Well, we've gone through that. Okay. And through our life experiences, we gather valuable information, stuff that pertains to truth and reality, and the pure information, these are called evolutive values, are transferred to the creation energy part piece. I should change this terminology here. And whereby this spirit form, for simplicity's sake, evolves and becomes more powerful, the more of the wisdom that it attains. And it needs the material consciousness in order to evolve. Okay. But now we'll get into this overall consciousness block, this is the part that I wanted to talk about. So when the brain ceases to function, these things that's when there's actually death. So, as long as the brain is functioning, there is, it could be just a slowed down state. But when it actually ceases to function, that's when I see an error here, that this dotted line is covering the arrow. Okay. Anyway, that's when the spirit form and the consciousness block have left the body. That's when the body ceases to function. The death occurs, and but there are, of course, factors that occur with the body. It slowly breaks down. This picture was something that I had thrown in a previous presentation, just because I was reading from The Way to Live, and they were talking about how people see the light at the end of the tunnel, where they have these near-death experiences. But in fact, the explanation had to do with the reduction of oxygen going to the brain and it affecting the vision, and because the peripheral vision becomes I can't remember exactly, more or less negated, and the most what's in front of you is what is still functioning. And so that's why there is a common experience of these near-death experiences where they appear like they're going through a tunnel. But then, of course, whatever you want to believe as well, if you believe you're going to meet your grandparents there at the end of the tunnel, or God, or whatever, if those are strong beliefs, then that could as well happen. Anyway, that was just an aside. So once the consciousness block leaves and the spirit form and the overall consciousness block all leave the body, well, the overall consciousness block goes to its own particular realm in the fine material realm, and that's its job, is to actually deal with the personality, the consciousness block, and it dissolves it. But before it actually takes seconds to process that consciousness block, like all unworked out stuff from that particular incarnation is processed in seconds or a minute or so. It's very, very, very quick. And so it goes, and evolutive values are again transferred. And then what happens is the personality that is stored, that consciousness block, and all the idiosyncrasies and everything is stored in the storage banks of the overall consciousness block. There are other storage banks as well, and that will be maybe another presentation talking about all the different types of storage banks. It's like a redundant storage bank, because we have the planetary storage bank, which also has all the information here. But not only from this personality, but all personalities. So this is the purely individual storage bank for this particular personality, and only. And all this particular creation energy part piece, and all the different incarnations of the different personalities, it's all stored here. And then the personality is dissolved, or the material consciousness block is dissolved, and a new one is built up. Oh, it's changed it to neutral form and then creates a new one. Okay. So that's its job. Now, this is what takes a long time, apparently. It takes many, many years. And if, due to overpopulation, the requirement for a new consciousness block and a spirit form to enter into the fetus, it may be that they are pulled from out of the fine material realm too prematurely, whereby not all of the information has been inputted into the new consciousness block. So the the thing is that the new consciousness block has factors from all of the previous personalities and all of the knowledge from, you know, all the wisdom, knowledge, and all that information from all previous lifetimes is inputted into the subconsciousness of the new personality, the new consciousness block. And if there isn't enough time for this to be fully built up, then you could have a personality that is deficient in areas or has different problems. So so the consciousness block, it only incarnates. This guarantees progress. You know, you guys probably all know this. Whereas the spirit form or the creation part piece within the human being, the small little part of creation that's contained within the human being, that reincarnates. It's because it's always the same in all the different personalities. There's a lineage, and it's always going to be the same creation part piece, but different personalities. And then, so here, let's see here. So, okay, so when there is a new incarnation of a personality or consciousness, a material consciousness block, it starts off at the point where the previous personality ended off in its evolution. So you don't start from the very bottom, in other words. So everything, okay, so this is where it gets a little bit difficult to explain sometimes. I have to keep the thoughts clear, but basically what is inputted into the subconsciousness of this consciousness block or this new personality is the essences of consciousness forms. So what does that mean? That means that not everything from all personalities is inputted into the subconsciousness, but just the essences are incorporated into the subconsciousness. So the essences are the highest achieved level of particular consciousness forms. So it's the quintessence of the consciousness form. So let's see, what is a consciousness form? Well, love. So the highest level that you have achieved of love or understanding of love or wisdom pertaining to love, perhaps, that highest level that's what's inputted into the subconsciousness. So that would be considered the essence, or honesty, or respect, or different consciousness forms, patience, diligence, what you've developed, the highest level of how you've developed these various consciousness forms, artistic consciousness form, mathematical consciousness form. It could be the highest level is the essence. And so for one person, they may have developed, let's say, various levels of these particular things. And then the overall average of all of the highest levels that you've achieved then become your specific level of evolution. Okay, so these essences are inputted into the material subconsciousness, and that is that. So I'm going to stop this thing here. I'm going to stop